That's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, maybe I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon. Welcome in. Happy Monday. This is the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clear are back with you. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
We back. I'm great. I'm fantastic. I had a good weekend full of doing nothing.
That's
It was
good.
great. It was fantastic.
That's good stuff, man.
You were kind of busy on Saturday, but then you had Sunday off, so you was good.
Yeah.
You had Sunday. Didn't have Sunday
I
off?
did not have Sunday off.
Oh,
So
tragic.
last week was a little wild. I will not lie. I mean, doing the whole PBA thing, which was a blast. We'll talk about that here in a second. But second of all, it was midterm week.
Shout out to Nick for being fantastic on the broadcast.
It was midterm week last week.
Ooh.
So this week's spring break. So it's a little bit of a
So you were doing
a breath.
midterms and calling games?
Yeah.
Oof.
Wednesday night. I did not sleep. I pulled an all-nighter Wednesday night.
Oof.
Doing midterms
You had
last
some
during
good
the
games
night.
on Thursday.
I sure did. It was
How
a lot
many
of fun.
OT games were there at PBA? Because I feel like there was at least 17.
Okay, so there was the Omaha Central Lincoln Southwest
First
game,
day.
First day that DP had.
I think
Because
it was
my first 2 days
blowouts. Blowout
horrible
city.
blowouts.
Blowout city galore.
Yeah, and I thought, man, this is going to be a long week if they're all 15 or 20-point wins.
You guys called at least 4 or 5.
Yes. Yeah, I think so because we had obviously the Omaha Central Lincoln Southwest one. I can't even remember. The Humphrey Lindsay Holy Family, the boys, the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have any more? Did Fremont and Lincoln High go to over? No.
No.
Fremont and Lincoln High did not. I cannot think of
There
any
was like
more.
2 more.
Yeah.
I don't know, because there was a couple times where we went over and we were like, all right, well, this means a smaller segment for whoever's back in studio,
Mhm.
which was fine. It was okay.
Yeah.
But no, you and DP did a fantastic job.
I appreciate that, Rico. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Did you know Humphrey Lindsay Holy Family, only school to win both girls and boys this year?
They are really good. And the girls, or excuse me, the boys really impressive because of they moved up from D1 to C2.
Mhm.
This was their first year. Really impressive. Elkhorn North, super impressive because they've won back-to-back now. Big part of that's, yes, Britt Prince, but also the job that Ann Prince and her staff has done in their first 2 years. Really, really impressive stuff.
Do they have any seniors this year?
They have 2.
2 seniors. Okay.
That
They
are
didn't
both
last year.
starters. They're both starters,
Okay.
but
We'll see what happens.
they bring back everybody else. They have 2 seniors.
Why did I not know that Britt Prince
Riley,
was 5'11" and she's playing point guard?
Yeah. And like she is a master of the bounce pass.
Yes.
Like in transition, she finds the open teammate. Like she is so like I said, we talk about this with college players quite often, but a lot of the times there's players that just look different, and especially on the high school floor, you can kind of see the difference in those type of players. And Brent Prince and Taylor McCabe and even Kennedy Williams at some points were like, these players are different. They have a super bright future. Kennedy Williams, shout out to her. Just a sophomore, really, really impressive tournament.
She took over those first 2 rounds.
She sure did. And it was really, really fun stuff to watch and
Upsetting Millard South. That's big.
That was a fun game to call. That may have been my favorite game that I called last week.
Really?
The Lincoln Southwest and Millard South game, because if you think about it, the whole Millard South game, and feel free, I should always put this in there. Starter Heyman text line, Honda Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685. Feel free to chime in there. We have a really, really good show for you guys today. At 2:30, I'll be joined by one of my old buddies, Charlie Easley, who graduated from Pius X in 2019, walked on to Nebraska, had a really, really fun to watch freshman year with the Huskers. And then transferred out, went to South Dakota State. Now South Dakota State faces Providence on Thursday in the NCAA tournament. Charlie dropped 15 points in their Summit League championship game, their win over North Dakota State. And so I texted him last week. And I said, hey, man, you want to come on Monday? And he said yes. So we'll talk to Charlie here at 2:30. But
I just have one question for him.
About Baylor.
No.
Oh, okay.
What was it like playing with Thor?
Oh, we should do that.
Oh,
absolutely. We should.
Hero.
We should talk about that. But
or what was it like watching Pius lose twice to WS this year?
Ooh, see, that's the thing is I don't know how often he comes back into town.
That's true.
Like I said, I haven't been able to talk to him in a year or so, but it's weird. And I don't know.
Is he one of those guys that gets angry if you say Pius X?
I don't know. I feel like those are I don't know, honestly. But it was weird because I remember, talking to him his senior year and stuff like that. And we were like, I just kept asking, like, hey man, do you know where you're going? Because he had one Division I offer and it was to the Citadel. And it's like, hey man, do you know where you're going? Because Nebraska basketball, that whole situation was kind of uneasy with that, with Fred Hoiberg coming and everything. And then he last minute kind of walked on to Nebraska and then got a scholarship halfway through the season and became kind of a fan favorite player. And so it's just, I want to ask him about, did you see your journey going like this?
Yeah.
And things like this. Because now he's played in every single game for South Dakota State. He's playing alongside Baylor Shilerman, who went to Aurora. And it's like, did you see your journey being like this and going to the NCAA tournament with South Dakota State, and you're going to play Providence? And they are 30-4. They've won 21 straight games, and they finished undefeated 18-0 in the conference.
That's beautiful. That's fantastic.
So
I wonder if when he walked on to Nebraska, if he thought his first NCAA tournament game would be played not with Nebraska.
Yeah. So I want to make it a little more about South Dakota State, what they're doing up there, because that's, talk about the present and stuff like that. So, but back to the whole NSAA, the state tournament, great week from high school fans, just general basketball fans. Like I said, the Lincoln Southwest and Millard South game may have been my favorite just because of the way that Lincoln Southwest showed out Millard South with their dynasty still searching for a state title for right now, led by head coach Bryce Myers. But we saw the way that, Maya Babbitt and Chloe Lemon and Cora Olson all exploded in their first game that I had. But then against Lincoln Southwest, they shut them down. And a big part of that was, Brinley Christensen from the Silverhawks and Taryn Ling as well. And Kennedy Williams being kind of the face of that team this tournament. Mm-hmm. But so that was a big part of it. But like I said, Rico, Millard South, and I said this on the broadcast, Millard South 64-1 in their last 65 games against teams from Omaha, from the metro area. They have one loss. They were undefeated this year, and their only loss of the season was to Lincoln Southwest in the state tournament. The dynasty that they're building, they've been to the tournament 5 or 7 straight times. I can't remember the exact number, but just really, really impressive stuff, but they keep falling short. Then you have a team like Fremont, who, led by Taylor McCabe, who is silently so fun to watch and so easy to cheer
silently for. The Nebraska Gatorade Player of the Year.
Nobody talked about it. And so she comes out, she drops a good number every single game, and they finally win their first state title. And Kelly Flynn, they want to make him governor. They want to make their signs out in Fremont saying Kelly Flynn for governor.
Kelly Flynn, governor.
Because he's done something that no other coach has been able to do at Fremont. So it's a lot of fun.
There were a couple first-time champions.
Yes. Yeah. So last week was a ton of fun. I hope everybody else enjoyed it. Wet Blanket, Brian, John, appreciate you guys for all the awesome comments. Appreciate you guys tuning in and all the compliments we do.
I'm going to shout myself out. I did a really good job moving levers and pushing buttons.
Here's what John said. We can read this one. Hey, Nick and Rico, great job, Nick and DP, on calling the basketball games. I enjoyed listening to the games with teams that nobody in Lincoln ever covers. John. Appreciate it, John. Appreciate you listening. Glad you liked it. It was a lot of fun. All right, so 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Hammond text line. Feel free to chime in to the show all hour long. Okay, first off, I want to talk about Husker women's basketball because they will be playing in the NCAA tournament. But
jobbed.
Yes, we'll get to that. Second, Husker Baseball is currently losing to UNO 2-0 in the top of the fifth. Nebraska
At home.
at home today. Nebraska just left the bases loaded, and they head to the top of fifth, down 2-0. Nebraska has 2 errors in today's game. The record 4-9. Thoughts, Rico?
Not great, Bob. It's not great. I said that they just needed some time to warm up. I mean, I guess you could still say some time to warm up, but we were talking about it. I mean, they could turn it around, obviously. Like this is no sign of what the entire season is going to look like. This team is better than 4-9. Like, at least I think they're better than 4-9. I think they'll turn it around, but hosting a regional seems a little far away now.
Yeah, I think that's the thought as well.
Because they said they didn't want to look at the past. They didn't want to talk about Arkansas. They look towards the future. The goal was to host the regional. It's going to be hard. It's not impossible. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a big turnaround if they want to host a regional.
You have to think. So if you're hosting a regional, you're a top 16 team in the country. That's where you are.
You got to go undefeated the rest of the year.
Nebraska is maybe top 50 right now. Maybe. And so they're on the edge.
A lot of baseball teams.
There's a lot of season left to play. Here's what me and Mark were talking about this earlier. I mean, you're sitting here at 4-9 now, and we were talking about this earlier. Is that like we are now starting to see all the little things that they did last year that they did it right, and we didn't even think about it because they just did the little things correct. And it shows you how when walks and errors through the first couple games of the season, walks and errors will kill you. They can weather the hits. It's the walks and errors, putting guys on your own dime or because of your problem.
Mistakes.
Yeah, that's when it hurts you. And so, for example, pitchers not being able to get out of the second inning, pitchers not being able to get through 3 innings.
That's been big.
Walks, errors, and I think errors is a big one. Communication on defense, whether it's understanding that as a right fielder, you got to call off a guy or take somebody just taking charge. The best player so far this season has been Griffin Everett, and it's been behind the dish. However, as everybody knows, in baseball, you just can't have just one guy. For example, like just doing your job. They don't have a Jackson Hallmark this year. So now we're starting to see, kind of what's different from last season to this year. And maybe we not underappreciated, but undervalued how big of a role or how big of a luxury it was to get all those guys back because of the COVID year. I think that's a big thing because now you're having a lot of fresh faces. And this is not to say that the expectations at the beginning of the season were not warranted. Like they brought them on themselves. And I think we were not wrong to expect them to be better than 4-9 through 13 games.
Yeah.
Nobody expected them to win the Big Ten title last year, including myself, and they did it. But now this year, everybody expected them to win the Big Ten title or at least compete, and nobody expected them. The Sam Houston one, like whatever, man.
Turns out Sam Houston really good.
Turns out Sam Houston good.
Like we knew they were good, but turns out really good. This is a very solid team down at Sam Houston.
So it's just the whole losses, like the games against UT Arlington and Northwestern State, it's like those are the ones that you're going to need because when you're looking at postseason time, as our second baseman makes a good play there up the middle, but when you're looking at, come postseason time and you're looking at losses and wins and things like that, you want to look at those games and not take those into account. And the way that you do that is by winning those games and taking care of business. The way that you don't do that is by losing them, and because those are games that hurt you a lot more than they help you if you lose.
Those are the games that send you to a top seeded regional as opposed to
You're right.
going somewhere where you have a better chance of winning or hosting it yourself. So yeah, it's the small things that Nebraska did last year that nobody even thought about, kind of showing its ugly face here during the early part of this season. But there are ways they can get this turned around. They just gotta shore up a couple of things, and they have enough talent to turn this season around and be better. But right now, I don't know what it is, but they got to figure something out quick, because this could turn into a landslide of bad.
Yeah, and losing, like we're seeing the midweek games, and that's where kind of maybe losing a guy like Jacob Buns comes into effect, because you can't put him out there for 4 innings. You can't put a Jacob Buns out there for 5 innings in relief of the 4th inning, because normally those midweek games are a lot of times bullpen games. That's where we see guys like Cody Frank get their starts, but now Cody Frank has become one of the Friday guys because Kyle Perry wasn't getting his job done, and now Shea Shanneman has given up 2 runs on 3 hits, 70 or 80 pitches through 5 innings. But at the end of the day, if your offense isn't swinging the bat, like if you're not swinging to the bat, if you strike out or you're walking back to the dugout with the bat on your shoulder because you didn't lift it off your shoulder, then that's you, man. Like, you're taking yourself out of it.
Honestly, last year, Nebraska being down 2-0, not really worried. I'd be like, oh yeah, they'll put together a 6-run inning.
Exactly.
But this year, the way that the bats have gone ice cold, it's 2-0 seems like a lot.
So this is an interesting comment we have off the text line here, 402-464-5685. It concerned me when Will Bolt said preseason that they might play less small ball because they had the bats up and down the lineup. Then in game 6 of the season, we saw the first home run along with a 1-5 record. Get back to what was working. Yeah, that's interesting. That was one of the quotes that stuck out to me when Will Bolt was talking that one day. I agree with you. I will say this though. I just don't know if they have the
speed,
have the roster makeup that they did last year. If you think about the guys that have moved on now, it's Mojo Hagee, it's Jackson Hallmark is a big one, and you also don't have Luke Roscom, who is one of your bigger power bat from last year. He left, but that's not really the point. But with that, you don't have Spencer Schwellenbach also, who was a 2nd-round pick. So
do you have the guys to continue to play small ball, or has your roster changed with all of the losses from more of a small ball roster to more of a
just a balanced attack?
Yeah, more balanced where you don't I'm not saying they had to play small ball last year, but with the bodies that they had, small ball was their best option to get wins.
It was just gritty. Like it was fun to watch. It was tough. It was gritty. It was what worked, right? It was throw strikes, win the 2-1 ball games, throw strikes, make plays, limit the errors, limit the walks, limit the things you can control, and we'll see what happens. But you have to remember that a guy like Chase Mason is not on the team anymore.
2 outs already?
Yeah. So 2
the
outs.
Bottom of the 5th just started.
So 2 outs. But like now you lose a guy in Chase Mason, who was the South Dakota Player of the Year for baseball. He decided to move on and play some football. And so you lose him in the off season. That's a bat out of your lineup and a guy in the left in the outfield. And you have Kyle Perry, who's coming off of Tommy John surgery, who feels like he was fine, but through the first and in Arkansas, he pitched extremely well. But the truth be it that here early on in the season, he's just struggling a little bit. So you have that, and then you lose Jacob Buns. It seems like Nebraska always loses one guy in their bullpen to an injury. This year it's Jacob Buns. Last year it was Colby Gomez. And you just wonder when are they going to put it together? Because unfortunately, through 13 games and about to be 14, if things stay the course like they are right now, Nebraska's going to drop another game and get double-digit losses 14 games into the season. Nobody saw it coming. National writers didn't see it coming. The people within the program did not expect this. I did not expect this. Rico didn't. And so we're all kind of searching for answers, and it's really telling that Will Bolt's kind of doing the same thing when he goes out and says, we're just playing really, really weak. We got to find a guy. And along the lines of switching their philosophy on, what works and stuff, Will Bolt and his staff talking to them, and especially talking to Lance Harvell and knowing what Will Bolt's about and his pedigree and knowing what Rob Childress is about, because once again, his history tells us this team, this coaching staff, I should say, doesn't seem like the staff to go out on a limb and try something that they don't believe will work.
That they don't have confidence in.
Yeah. And so if they feel like they can beat teams by strictly hitting the baseball, then great. And it's just not translating yet. So
it just hasn't, the bats haven't caught up to the mentality quite yet.
You're absolutely right.
I think that's what's going on right now. But if you would have told me Nebraska was going to have, 9. If you asked me when Nebraska would have 9 losses, I would say it's somewhere halfway through Big Ten play.
You would hope so. And once again, I will sit here and admit that I did not see a 4-9, almost 4-10 start coming. I will sit here and I will say that till I'm blue in the face, because I still feel like this team has the talent and has the staff and the pitching staff and the coaching staff that could host a regional. There's just something, they're not doing the little things. They're not controlling what they can control. And in baseball, that's the most important thing. Yeah. Control what you can control. And you can't, you cannot rely, if you're down 5-0 in the 9th, you cannot rely on you being able to hit a baseball and finding a gap every single time out. You just putting yourself out of the game when you have 3, 4, 5 errors a game. And then, guess what? Our starting pitcher is not making it out of the second inning for the 4th game in a row. So our bullpen's being taxed. We lost a guy in the bullpen already, a mainstay in the bullpen, one of the leaders. And we're making errors, we're hitting batters, we're walking guys, and we're striking out a lot offensively. So
they're not as patient in the box as they were last year.
Well,
I guess that kind of goes back to the small ball that somebody was talking about.
Well, and I'll say this: when you're down 4-0 in the 9th and you're frustrated because the whole season, you're trying to switch that. You're trying to fix yourself with one swing of the bat.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the truth. You're trying to hit a home run, get your team some momentum, because for essentially 8 innings, if it's the 9th inning, you have none, and you're only hurting yourself by trying to kill the ball and making it a 5-1 ball game instead of being patient, like you said, Rico, and either being disciplined to take a walk or not trying to hit a home run. Just hit the ball where it's pitched and do your job, because that's what baseball is kind of about. All right, when we come back, we will have Charlie Easley of South Dakota State. Basketball, graduated from Pius 10th in 2019, won a state title with the Bolts. Started with the Huskers as a walk-on, then earned a scholarship halfway through the season, then transferred to South Dakota State. He averages about 8 points per game for the Jackrabbits, but in the Summit League championship game against North Dakota State last week, he dropped 15 points, 6 rebounds, played in 35 minutes. South Dakota State as a team won the Summit League championship 75-68 over North Dakota State, I believe. And they will face Providence on Thursday in New York as part of the NCAA tournament. So we will talk to Charlie Easley of South Dakota State coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Can you believe all the empty car lots in Lincoln? How can they survive? Well, they are surviving by charging way too much and making you believe there are no cars available. Hey, this is Carl from Price Right Auto. I'm here to tell you that they are full of bull stuffing. Come out to Price Right in West O and you'll find over 100 great vehicles at some great prices. We won't let you get a lemon since we back every one of our vehicles with our Peace of Mind 3-month warranty. If you want a hassle-free car buying experience, check out our website, PriceRightAuto.com. Come see a great selection of affordable used cars on West O Street at Price Right Auto.
From selling a home to even building one, you're doing a lot and need a lender who can help you do it. Like Jennifer Peters of Security First Bank.
There are a lot of ways we can work to find the best fit for your situation. Let me help you explore your options.
Mortgage lending from Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 505011 and 616194.
The middle of March is here, and you know what that means. It's time to get to Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for our yearly party for the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament. Join us this Thursday and Friday for beer, food, basketball, great prizes, and sports talk. We'll be on location both days from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and the first 64 people to stop by on Thursday get a draw for a ping pong ball with a team and the tourney on it that can lead to great prizes if that team makes the Final Four. It's March Mayhem with 93.7 The Ticket this Thursday and Friday at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies at times. It will be windy and cooler. We'll top out near 56, but north winds could gust 25 to 30 by later this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low dropping down to 26. We'll see increasing sunshine tomorrow and warmer temperatures as we'll bounce back to around 63. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental also has salaried jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. Join 93.7 The Ticket tonight, Monday, March 14th, from the Upside Bar and Lounge on 27th and Pine Lake for Ticket weeknights. Nicole Griffith will kick things off from 6 to 8 p.m., followed by Talkin' Tens with Michaela Curtis and Kinsey Roby from 8 to 9 p.m. From 9 to 10, it's Husker swimmer and diver Reagan Hinsey and Audrey Coffey, leading up to our final show of the evening with Amari Smith-Spates and Gwen Maea for In the Pocket from 10 to 11 p.m. Stop by, hang out, and enjoy $3 taco baskets paired with their large selection of house-made margaritas. That's all tonight, live from the Upside Bar and Lounge on 27th and Pine Lake.
2022 is all about staying well. And guess what? There are lots of easy ways to take care of your mental and physical health every day, like eating right and exercising, taking vitamins, drinking water, scheduling those annual doctor's visits, or just resting. That's right, even a quick nap counts. Because let's be honest, these days we could all use a little more wellness in our lives. So stay well, Nebraska. For more ways you can stay healthy, visit StayWellNebraska.com.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
My hardest job is to know how to win and how to lose and be able to handle adversity.
Well, I think that's also good because adversity is a great teacher. Usually when you're winning, you're not going to change much. But when you really encounter adversity, then everything's on the table. You begin to really examine your life and examine what you've been doing, what you haven't been doing, and that's when sometimes the most meaningful changes occur.
Weekdays from 11 to 2 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. State basketball has concluded, and here are your winners for girls and boys. For the girls, in Class A, number 2 Fremont won over number 5 Lincoln Southwest. In Class B, number 1 Elkhorn North won over number 2 Scott Catholic. In Class C1, number 1 Lincoln Lutheran just fell short against number 2 Northland Central, 31-35. For the boys, Miller North is your Class A champions after a win over number 2 Bellevue West, 67-57. In Class B, number 2 Ron Valley Catholic won its championship over number 1 Scott Catholic, 52-37. In Class C1, Cale Jacobson from number 2 Ashland Greenwood continued a great tournament run. Ashland Greenwood took home the championship on a buzzer beater corner 3 by Evan Shepard, assisted by Cale Jacobson. They would win over Auburn, 36-33. In Class D2, number 6 Parkview Christian won over number 1 St. Mary's in the title game. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
You're listening to The Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Nick Sainert and Rico back with you on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Feel free to add your thoughts to the show, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Hammond text line. We go to the hotline now where we're joined by a buddy of mine from high school and South Dakota State Jackrabbit, Charlie Easley. Charlie, what's up, man? How you been?
Good. Happy to be on the show.
All right, Charlie. So you guys beat North Dakota State. I'll just ask it right out of the gate. You beat North Dakota State last week. You win the conference championship. Has it sunk in that you're playing in the NCAA tournament on Thursday against Providence?
I'm not sure if it's fully sunk in yet. I mean, it's definitely a dream come true for me. I mean, that's why I work so hard to play basketball, is for moments like this, to go to the NCAA tournament. And it's kind of a surreal feeling to know that I'm there, and me and my team are going to be ready to go.
What's your schedule look like this week then? I mean, does it change at all? Walk us through like kind of what this week looks like. When do you guys leave? What's your travel plans? All that stuff.
Well, we're kind of waiting for the Selection Sunday show to kind of show us what day we're going to play and who we're going to play. So then that will start the scouting process. And we just had a practice this morning, and we'll have a practice tomorrow, and we'll head out actually tomorrow since we play an early game on Thursday. And I think it's in Buffalo. So we'll have a pretty decently long plane ride there.
Okay, so let's talk about your team a little bit. We're joined by Charlie Easley, current South Dakota State guard, former Husker Force, former Pius 10 Thunderbolt here in Lincoln as well. You guys are 30-4 overall. You've won how many games? 21 games, I think, in a row. You finished the conference slate undefeated. I mean, what's allowing you guys to be so successful?
I think we have obviously we have good coaching staff, great players, but I think the main reason is just kind of the unity we have on our group. I mean, we trust everybody on our team, and we're just a really close group of guys. And I just think that's allowed us to stay together during tough stretches during games. And that's how we've been closing out games. And that's how we've gone on this long win streak.
Okay, so you mentioned the coaching staff there. Talk about Coach Eric Henderson, because what's some of the things that he does that makes SDSU such a fun environment, and you know, like what I said, what makes him so much fun to play for?
Well, yeah, I love Coach Henderson, and he always has the most energy in the gym, and he brings that whether it's a 6 a.m. practice or it's during a game. And you just love playing for him because, you know, he cares about it, and, you know, he loves his guys, and he just always, I mean, he's the energy bunny, and we just love that. I love that about him.
We're speaking of Charlie Easley, South Dakota State basketball player here. They play Providence on Thursday in the NCAA tournament, 11:40 a.m. Okay, so there's a little bit of Nebraska flavor on your team, Charlie. You got a couple players that are from Nebraska, Baylor Shireman specifically. What's it kind of like? He's from Aurora. He averages like 16 and 8 and quite a few assists a game. He's the conference player of the year. Off the floor, what makes it so much fun to be teammates with Baylor, but then also talk about him on the floor?
Yeah, well, actually, I've known Baylor for quite a while. I knew him growing up, and I actually played on the AAU team with him, the OSA Crusaders. So I've known him for a while from that. And he's always been one of my best friends. And we've just gotten closer ever since I've gotten to South Dakota State. And he's just an uplifting guy, and he's just always positive, and I love that about him. And then on the court, he impacts every area of the game. I mean, he's probably the best passer I've ever seen, and knows how to get his teammates involved, and that's really helped us over the course of this season. And I mean, obviously he can shoot, he can rebound, he can defend, he can just kind of impact every area of the game. And that's why he's gotten all these accolades like Conference Player of the Year, and he's just going to keep getting better and better.
Okay, so I want to ask you about your journey, because let's bring Nebraska into this a little bit. Did you ever see it going down this way where because I remember having conversations with you like our senior year of high school, being like, hey man, where are you going? And you didn't know for a while. You didn't know for the longest time, you know, where you were going. Then you walk on in Nebraska, you earn a scholarship, rightfully so. And then you head out and go to South Dakota State. Did you ever see it playing out this way?
Honestly, to be honest, I didn't. But for me, it's just every day I've just tried to get better and better and just focus on the things I can control. Like in high school, when I said I didn't know where I was going, I mean, I wasn't getting the offers I wanted.
Yeah.
And thankful for Nebraska for giving me a walk-on offer in Hoiberg. And I love my time at Nebraska, and I grew there, and I got better, and I worked on my game, and it kind of worked out that's the route I wanted to go, to South Dakota State. And it's the journey, and I've been appreciative of every step of the way.
Now, Charlie, I got a question for you. At your time at Nebraska, I want to ask you about how was it playing with my hero, Thorir?
Oh, Thorir. I mean, Thorir is one of my best friends still. I mean, I was really close with Thor, and yeah, we roomed a lot on road trips and kind of foreign trips. They're the ones I remember. We went to Italy, and I was his roommate for most of it. So that was a good memory with him, and I love playing with him, and he's a great guy on and off the court.
We're speaking with Charlie Easley, guard for South Dakota State. Charlie, can you kind of explain the difference in play in the Summit League as opposed to the Big Ten?
I would say the main difference is probably height with a lot of the people, like overall across the board, height and athleticism. But I think the Summit League is a very skilled league, and we got a lot of great players. I mean, you saw what Oral Roberts did in the tournament last year, upset a lot of teams. But I think that there's just a lot of hidden talent in the Summit League, and I think it's a great league. And I don't think there's a terrible, size and athleticism are the main factors, I'd think. But skill-wise, I really think there's a lot of skilled players.
All right, Charlie, I want to ask you kind of about talent level in the high school level in the state of Nebraska, because when you guys came out and graduated, that was really the start of the rush of talent that has been over the last couple of years, because now you have a list of yourself, Baylor, Chucky, Hunter Salas, John Tanji at Colorado State, even Sharif Mitchell at Creighton, that are all playing in the big dance. Speak to the talent level at the high school level in Nebraska specifically. Like there's kids here that can play here.
Yeah, I think there's always been kids that can play in Nebraska. I think Nebraska is one of those kind of under-recruited states for whatever reason. And yeah, a lot of my buddies are playing in the big dance this year, and that's just great to see, and I love that for them. And I just think there's a lot of great players out of Nebraska in every year and some might go unnoticed. And yeah, I just think there's a lot of talent.
Is that because of AAU and like the ability or the options and the possibilities with AAU? Because you're a guy that played AAU. You just mentioned it a couple minutes ago, but like, is that the big reason, or is it the high school coaches that during those seasons? What helped you and prepared you the most for playing college ball, whether it was at Nebraska, whether it was at the Citadel where you were offered, or whether it's at South Dakota State?
Well, I think a lot of the recruiting happens on the AAU circuit, obviously. And my time with the OSA Crusaders helped me and a lot of my teammates a lot with getting exposure from coaches. And you get to play a lot of really good talent on the AAU circuit. So that kind of prepares you for the level you're going to play at, especially Division I level, because a lot of the guys you're playing are going there. And then high school season is just, it's kind of, you got to work on all your game, and you kind of are more of the AAU. You have a great team with a bunch of great players around you. And then in the winter season, you get to play with all your high school teammates. A lot of fun. You're more of the guy in that area.
What was your favorite moment playing in the state tournament? Because I'll just run through a couple of them so that the listeners know. First ones that came to my mind was the half court shot to tie it against Prep. Other ones were obviously the Class B title against Roncalli. This one still makes me laugh to the day. His personal favorite. This one still makes me laugh to the day, and it might make you. Watching Austin dunk in the final seconds against Roncalli.
All those are definitely
and the reaction that came on social media and to Austin after.
Yes, I can't go with the Creighton Prep moment because we lost.
Yep,
unfortunately. So I'm gonna go with the combination of those last two, winning state title versus Roncalli, and yes, the best moment was Jabo dunking that. Dunking at the end and getting boos from the crowd. I think that was a great way to go off.
He got booed when he walked up on that ladder too. It didn't stop.
And
the boos were heavy.
Yes, they were. And it was like almost slow motion for me as he did it. I knew it was going to be kind of a big deal when he would get ready to go up for that dunk. But I think he deserved that. To dunk on that stage in your final game in high school, that's got to be a great memory for him.
Exactly.
And for me as well.
Well, and there was a cool story behind it, and with the whole Hayden Higgins thing. Shout out to Hayden. Do you still talk to Hayden at all?
Yes, I actually
awesome.
Just a little bit ago I texted him, and I just kind of I just kind of thanked him for all he's done for me, and just kind of reminiscing about when I won this Summit League. It kind of reminded me of that championship for Pius, and for all he's done and the impact he's had on me and countless others. So I've stayed in contact.
Okay, for the listeners here, walk us through that story really quickly with Hayden. I mean, talk about Hayden and what he meant to Pius and what he did for Pius, and now what he means to you.
Well, yeah, Hayden Higgins has muscular dystrophy, and he was one of our best friends in high school and still is to this day. And he was the team manager for Pius, and the way he went about every day and just the positiveness he brought to the team and just kind of inspired all of us to kind of be better people on and off the court. Because, I mean, he would be in there before us every single day, making sure the floor was swept and just doing all these selfless acts for us. And he impacted us a lot and still impacts me to this day. And I can't thank him enough for that. And I can't wait to see him and hang out with him again.
That's awesome. All right, Charlie, we'll let you go. Lastly, before we do, what are your first impressions of Providence? Give us a little bit of scout if you have started.
Well, I've seen them on TV play a lot, kind of in the Big East, and I mean, they obviously have a great team, a lot of good players, a couple of good guards, good posts, but at the end of the day, it's just, if we're going to focus on them, we're going to focus on the scout, and we're going to be ready for whatever they can bring at us, and we're going to play our game and just be going there being confident.
Awesome, Charlie. Hey man, it was good to catch up with you. I'll hit you up later on, and we'll have to do this again, especially if you guys find some success in the tournament. Hope you do. We'll be cheering you on from Lincoln, man.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, Nick. It was good to talk to you again.
Yeah, you as well, man. All right, that is Charlie Easley, South Dakota State basketball guard, former Husker, former Pius 10 Thunderbolt, one of my good friends from high school. And we always
you sound like you're good friends.
We always laugh when we talk about Austin, because the social media reaction,
dude, it was wild.
I
believe a former co-host of ours was on that call, and I remember him saying, calling it. He's like, oh, and Jablonski goes up for the dunk, and he goes, oh no, here it goes.
I understand the idea that it could have been viewed as bad sportsmanship, but I will say this: if you know Austin Jablonski, who's now a quarterback in Concordia, he transferred. He walked on at Nebraska. Mm-hmm. He had a preferred walk on for Nebraska football.
A linebacker.
Yes, as no, I think it was wide receiver. I believe it was wide receiver or tight end. Either way, just didn't find the field, and that's is what it is. And he's now transferred to Concordia to play quarterback. And if you know Austin, if you know Austin, then you understand like kind of the guy he is. And we talked about Hayden Higgins right there. Hayden is such an awesome dude. Just doesn't let, like Charlie said, doesn't let anything like kind of stop him from living life. And part of that was Austin told Hayden that he would dunk in the state title game. And at the end of the day, he gave a state medal to Hayden. So there was a cool backstory.
So
behind
he needed to, because he hadn't dunked yet.
There were parts of that and just really cool stuff that if you know Austin as a person, as a guy, you don't boo him. But I understand for the folks that don't know, I understand. But there was names being called on Twitter, and it was, we just kind of laughed it all off.
A couple clever ones.
Yeah, it was absolutely. So all right, appreciate Charlie. They play at 11:40 a.m. on Thursday against Providence, and we'll be watching that game from Buffalo Wings and Rings, and hopefully you guys can join us. The happy hour is going on the road
for the first time.
We're taking it on the road.
The happy hour will be on location.
We're going to Buffalo Wings and Rings. We're watching March Madness. Come see me and Rico, and we'll have a blast. I'll play Keno a little bit.
Never stop playing the game you love.
Play Keno a little bit. We'll have a blast on
Eat
Thursday
some wings.
and Friday. Absolutely. So, all right, 402-464-5685. Get any final thoughts in? Nebraska baseball has come back to tie it up. We're tied at 2 apiece. Omaha has the baseball, is on offense. they're hitting. Nebraska's on defense right now. So we'll keep you updated as we go along, but we'll wrap up Monday's show after a week of being off. Next up on The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill has 2 Lincoln locations that are great for any occasion. If you're downtown for a basketball game or a concert, stop by their newest spot at 10th and P. Don't forget to check out their social media pages to learn about any concerts on stage at Rosie's. If you want to avoid a busy downtown scene, head over to the original Rosie's just south of 14th and Highway 2 for a feeling of your local hometown bar. There's plenty of TVs at both places and great food and drink. What are you waiting for? Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill at 10th and P and on South 14th Street.
Acres Equipment, Nebraska's premier John Deere dealer. We support farmers, ranchers, landowners, local governments, contractors, and more. Largest inventory around, and we deliver. Precision ag specialists creating the highest yields. Mobile technicians covering the state, and we're there for the home team on game day. Acres, solutions for every field.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
2022 is all about staying well. And guess what? There are lots of easy ways to take care of your mental and physical health every day, like eating right and exercising, taking vitamins, drinking water, scheduling those annual doctor's visits, or just resting. That's right, even a quick nap counts. Because let's be honest, these days we could all use a little more wellness in our lives. So stay well, Nebraska. For more ways you can stay healthy, visit staywellnebraska.com.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 330 North 48th Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Join 93.7 The Ticket tonight, Monday, March 14th, from the Upside Bar and Lounge on 27th and Pine Lake for Ticket weeknights. Nicole Griffith will kick things off from 6 to 8 p.m., followed by Talkin' Tens with Michaela Curtis and Kinsey Roby from 8 to 9 p.m. From 9 to 10, it's Husker swimmer and diver Reagan Hinsey and Audrey Coffey, leading up to our final show of the evening with Amari Smith-Spates and Gwen Maea for In the Pocket from 10 to 11 p.m. Stop by, hang out, and enjoy $3 taco baskets paired with their large selection of house-made margaritas. That's all tonight, live from the Upside Bar and Lounge on 27th and Pine Lake.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete.
Sun Valley Lanes and Games is now offering spring sand volleyball leagues. Sand volleyball leagues are 9 weeks long beginning April 3rd. Registration's available online at sunvalleylanes.com. Use the promo code 93.7 to save 5%. That's sunvalleylanes.com, promo code 93.7. Volleyball not your thing? They also offer fun cornhole and bowling leagues. Visit sunvalleylanes.com for complete details.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
Nick Sainert.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
Enrique Alvarez Clary.
If any of you need anything at all, too bad. Deal with your problems yourselves like adults.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, back here on the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Thanks again to Charlie Easley for joining us. If you missed that interview, which I thought was really, really interesting, just because we don't get that point of view very often. Somebody that's currently playing in the NCAA tournament.
I'm glad he said that Thor was amazing. That just
Does
validates.
that make you more
that
fun?
validates everything that I thought about him.
Maybe that needs to be our new promo. Thor was great.
Thor was great.
Thor was great.
With Enrique Alvarez Clary, Thor was great. Yeah, I know he was.
That's all it is. So no, I appreciate Charlie. Once again, he's a guard at South Dakota State, former Husker. And
I'm going to reach out to my connects and see if we can just get a bunch of former Nebraska high school players who are currently in the tournament on.
So, fun fact, there's a lot.
There's a decent amount. Latrell Wrightsell Jr. at Cal State Fullerton. I don't know. I think he might have got hurt.
There's a guy obviously, like I
John
said,
Tonji, Colorado State.
Like we talked about with Charlie, Him, Baylor Shireman. They also have a guy from Winnebago.
Oh,
David Winget Jr.
He was a beast.
Dude, that Winnebago team, that like
Winnebago boys.
Yes, they made a documentary about it on NET.
Yeah.
The only reason I know that is because we watched it in class 1.
They were fantastic.
So,
Chucky with
really good stuff.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Hunter
Mitchell.
with Gonzaga. Where's Sharif at?
Creighton.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Now you're going to have Jason Green. Also, watching...
I actually have a screenshot of all the players.
So I will say this. Watching William Kyle this weekend, South Dakota State's going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
South Dakota State's going to be really, really good.
Okay,
for
here
a
we
couple
go.
Years.
Cal State Fullerton, Latrell Wrightsell from Central, Colorado State, John Tonji from Central, Creighton, Sharif Mitchell from Burke, Gonzaga, Hunter Salas, Millard North, Longwood, Nate Lateris from Seward.
Oh.
Loyola Chicago, St. Thomas, Millard North, Teddy Allen at New Mexico State from Boys Town, South Dakota State, Baylor, Charlie, David Winget.
Home run! Oh. Home run! Ring the bell! Ding, 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 ding! Home run!
Okay.
Who is that? Number 9. Oh my God, it's Ephraim Cervantes. Mark, if you're listening, Ephraim just hit a home run.
The bat is alive!
He can hit.
Oppo! Oh my goodness!
Ephraim with
That
the
wasn't-
Oppo taco.
That wasn't a wall scraper either.
Wow.
The bat is alive.
Ephraim can hit.
Ding, 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 ding. Anyways,
All right,
I'm going
sorry,
to
keep going.
San Diego State, Agueca Rope. Omaha South.
Mark just texted Ephraim.
Wisconsin, Chucky Hepburn. And actually players who just missed. Again, a lot of Nebraska flavor.
Yeah.
Ayo Akinwale at Drake. Shiloh Robinson. Remember him?
I do remember him.
Liberty.
Yep.
Sam Griesel. North Dakota State. Colby Rada.
They're not all in the Big Ten.
North Dakota State.
They're not all in the Big Ten. Or, excuse me, NCAA tournament, though.
No, these ones missed it.
Yeah.
Donovan Williams. Jaden Johnson at Old Dominion.
Where's Donovan
Remember
going?
Jaden Johnson?
I do.
Loke Were, Oregon. That was a late.
I
That was
do
late.
remember
He was
that
going to go to
one.
Peru State.
I do remember that. Well,
from Papio South.
Don't forget, like there was like the people that are the Agueca Ropes, that missed. There was the guy from Papillion La Vista. I want to say I can't remember.
Papio South. That was Loke Were.
South. Yep. Okay. So, but there was also one that went to like San Diego, or excuse me, went to was going to go to Washington, decided to decommit, then went to San Diego State. I think that was one of the Rope
That's
brothers.
a Gweck.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah,
Thank you,
he's
thank
in the
you.
tournament. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Drew Cookshausen from Scottsbluff at Northern Colorado.
Dude, the
They just
3-point
missed.
shooter. He is good
Sniper.
for shooting the 3.
And Max Morrell at Stanford, Millard North.
That's right.
Just missed the tournament.
Forget him. People forget about that. So
NEB preps.
We gotta get out of here.
Oh yeah, we really do.
We're getting
My bad.
It's all good.
It's okay. We were having a good time.
That's right. And people,
E-Fry hit a home run.
Here's the thing. Listen to the next hour, but I'm going to publicly apologize right now because I tweeted this out the day that Virginia Tech was in the ACC championship game. Nathan is unbearable today.
Look, it's annoying. I'm just going to say
it is unbearable. So listen to the next hour. Please send in texts to make fun of him.
Please
send in texts and listen to the next hour for Bach, but not for Nathan because he is unbearable today.
Let Bach know how much you love him.
So.
And just
small ball. They bunted.
Get it.
He's safe. Okay.
Yeah.
They advanced the runner. All right, we're done for today. Appreciate Charlie hanging on and hanging out with us. That was really good. If you missed any of the show, ticketfm.com. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
Adios.